the goal is to like bring more visibility.
Highlight some of our vendor partners, some of the people we've worked with for years that are phenomenal.
Like this crazy 20,000, 50,000 over market is unrealistic.
Everything doesn't ultimately make it to the MLS. I don't know if you ever check your numbers, but it seems like every year if I go back and look, there's transactions missing.
Yeah, so before I built my own team, for those that don't know, I actually started on Jeremy's team. So 7 years ago, when I first got into the business, Jeremy took me under his wing and showed me the ropes, mentored me, showed me how to find leverage, how to negotiate. So, yeah, man, I think I've said it a lot, but I'm pretty grateful for, this has obviously changed my life in a very cool way. And I don't think I would be the agent or the team leader I am. So
How long have you had your own team now?
that's a good question. I think 3 years. I've been in the industry 7 years. I worked on your team for 2 years. So
Yep. And how many agents do you have?
I have 2 agents getting ready to take on the third.
Yeah. 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 And for those that don't know, Jeremy Byers, Remax Premier Properties. I've been licensed since 2004. Had my own team since like 15, maybe. Started on Jay Pitt's team. He's my broker, owner of our company. Obviously my mentor. Been with him since 2010. Have always kind of had a small team, right? But have really enjoyed working with people like yourself, right? So I'd say the thing that love most about you and some of the other agents I've had is just like your dedication to your clients, right? Like I can't say enough good things about you, the value you've brought, right? And always keeping your clients first and always putting them above yourself. So like, I mean, as far as, your trajectory and where you've come from, I mean, the growth is just amazing. And
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were always taught.
right.
Take care of the people and the money will take care of itself.
100%.
And that rings true. That rings true today.
Yep, for sure. So like, I think a good question to answer is why now? Why are we doing this podcast?
Yeah, that's what everybody's been asking. It's like, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. But I mean, I personally think like right now there's a shift. I think there's a shift and I think real conversations, there's so much fake, right? Not to sound like 100 years old, but like, bro, AI is getting crazy. Like there's all this fake stuff, you know what I mean? Like there's no like, it's like authenticity is almost becoming lost.
Yep.
So I think there are a lot of people right now building or rebuilding their business around more authentic stuff and having real conversations. And I mean, I personally think that like, that's what people want. I don't know how you feel, but.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, obviously I've been in this business a long time. We both sold a lot of houses. On my bio, it's going to say, over 650, right? And like, that's a hard number to track because you look in the MLS and it's like, okay, right under 600, but everything doesn't ultimately make it to the MLS. I don't know if you ever check your numbers, but it seems like every year if I go back and look, there's transactions missing.
Probably should.
Yeah, I mean, Zillow says right at 650. That includes some team stuff too. So like, point is we've sold a lot of houses, right? With that brings knowledge. And going back to your point about all the fake stuff out there. I mean, everybody on social media is doing great, and there are some other obviously great agents in town and in our office, but I think at least when we're going to talk about branding and things like that moving forward, but for me, being able to bring that value to clients and that knowledge, I've never loved social media, right? I've never loved doing just sold a house post and like all that.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Some clients love it and I'm happy for it and for sure we'll do it, but it's never really been, something I've gravitated to. So something like this where we can sit down, we can talk, we can share stories, we can bring value in a different way, I think is again, the authentic thing, the real thing, right?
Yeah,
and
agree.
I'm hoping people appreciate it, right? And maybe we help people along the way. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, I think I share that same goal too. And, I think another thing that's came up is like where we have both, like you're a team leader, I own a team, you know, you own the Jeremy Byers Group, I own the Lewis Real Estate Group, and it's like, why are we doing this together?
Right.
And you know, like I gave that some thought when that question came up, and it's like, even though we both have different teams, we still play on the same field, right? Like we're still in the same industry. And I think, I know since I've met you, you've been pretty passionate about protecting the industry. You know, some of the things you just talked about, like kind of, you know, protecting the industry. Like for us, like yesterday, we went over contract changes, and we deal with agents who the first contract change happened a year ago, and like it was 12 months after that change, agents were still not educated on the fact that there were massive changes to a contract that we deal with every day.
Yeah.
And so, like, to your point, protecting the industry, I think, is why, even though we have our own teams, doing this together, protecting the industry.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like, if we're better, if we're sharper, if we stay on top, like, it's gonna trickle down to our clients.
Yeah.
And like you said, like, taking care of our clients is the ultimate goal. And when we're better, they're better.
Well, it's about providing valuable content, right? Like that's really what it's all about. We're doing this to put stuff out to social to bring value to people.
100%.
And there are other awesome agents in town doing
100%.
something similar. But there's a lot that aren't.
There's
right?
also a lot that look like they're
Right.
doing a ton of transactions,
Right.
but they're not.
Well, and it's not even always, don't get me wrong, like about doing the most transactions, right? Because there are agents doing a fair amount of business that are difficult to work with, right? that maybe
Very
aren't
true.
always doing right by their clients. So again, it's not about, you know, the transactions. It's about the bringing value, right?
The transparency.
Yeah, it's about teaching, coaching, maybe helping agents, right? That need a leg up. I mean, I could see, you know, that angle to this as well. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so yeah, I mean, and I think moving forward, obviously we're going to be having conversations, you know, we're going to share insight and knowledge, but we also want to use this as a platform to potentially help our agents, right? And then two, highlight some of our vendor partners, some of the people we've worked with for years that are phenomenal people supporting us and doing what we do for our clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Because our vendor partners are very important to what we do. And, you know, it's like there are a lot of, it's every industry, right? There's a lot of bad apples.
Yeah.
And so it's like with us, if we make that recommendation, if I refer you to my electrician, if I refer you to my roofer, they're a representation of me. And so a lot of times, you know, it's hard to find somebody good in any industry.
Yep.
So bringing those people on that we've used time and time again,
That we know and we trust.
We know and we trust them. We've seen their quality of work. We've seen their pricing. We've found the bad apples and we found the good apples. And to be able to let our clients, really anybody that wants to tag along and be a part of this, give them access to those people.
Yep. 100%. So where are we going next?
So, well, I mean, so I'm just thinking, like, since like talking to people, like what questions have been coming up, it seems like you know, what problem are we trying to solve has kind of been the thing. And it's like, I don't know that we're necessarily trying to solve a problem. But like, just like we said, like, I don't think we're really trying to solve a problem, but I think the goal is to like bring more visibility
Yeah.
and more transparency and
Yeah.
more authentic, just non-scripted, you know, like we prep for this because obviously we don't want it to suck for the people watching, but like just not the scripted kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? We've got some bullet points to talk about. And so I don't think we're necessarily trying to solve a problem. We're just trying to bring authentic content.
Yep. Bring
Non-scripted.
value. And again, you know, potentially highlight vendor partners and other people that supported us over the years that have always done right by us and our clients and show them some love and tell their story. Cause that's the thing too. Everybody's got a story, right? Everybody. So I think that can be a cool piece to this as well.
Let's jump in, man. The big question, The big question.
Yeah.
Market predictions for 2026.
Yeah.
What's your take?
So, spoke on a panel for real producers at the beginning of the month, and it was exactly all about that. It's about kicking off 2026 predictions, kind of what people thought, how you can improve your business, kind of all of that. And, I think this is going to be a great year. Should see interest rates coming down. The question is how fast and how much ultimately. And that's obviously a key part of everything real estate related this year. It seems the administration, and I'm not going to get political here at all, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what
doesn't matter
what side you fall on, but
for sure. But it seems there's a push to bring down rates, right? President's obviously a businessman, whether you think good or bad, and he wants to promote lower rates, right? So I think as long as he is in the White House, you're going to see that. Now, the question is, again, is he going to be successful in that, right? And
Yeah,
what does that
agree.
mean for us? So rates are the biggest part of what this year looks like, because we've talked about this a ton. You have so much of the market tied up in low rates, right? I think at last, what was it, like 60% were sub 4? And, those are people that doesn't make sense for them, right? To do anything while rates are at 7s, right? So luckily they've come down. Have you checked today? It seems like we've been hovering around 6 for a while.
yeah, I think for obviously it's not the same for everybody, but I think high 5s,
Yeah.
mid to low 6s are pretty much where we're at.
Yeah, which 6 historically is like the average. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of where it's been. So I think that's been a big benchmark. And as they've come down closer and now are at or just below 6, you start to see more people talking and transacting. So, all the conversations I've been having leading up to this year tell me that there are a lot of people now that they're getting lower that maybe have more of a reason to transact and are considering it.
Yep.
And so I see
100%.
2026 kind of being that kickoff to better days ahead. I really look back to when Jay and I were sitting in his office in like 2013, and we could feel it, right?
Yeah.
You could see that everything was going to get better, and there was sun on the horizon, right?
agree.
And we didn't know how fast or how much that run would ultimately become, but it was, right? And it feels similar. Do you see that?
I do. Yeah, though I was going to say I feel like the new normal has kind of settled in. Like I don't feel like buyers are waiting for this miracle rate, right? I feel like
They know we're never going to get down to the 2s and 3s,
we're not getting
and
to
maybe
the
even 4s again.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not waiting for this miracle rate. We're not waiting for I feel like that is settled in, because there for a minute is like people were on the fence holding off for this miracle that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And we all knew in the industry like that's a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the market couldn't support that, right? Like that wasn't going to be sustainable long term. It was a good boost for the economy during COVID, but like it just wasn't going to be good long term.
Yeah.
So I think like people are realizing that. And, that's on the buy side. And then for sellers, I think people to that point are not like this aspirational pricing, like this crazy 20,000, 50,000 over market is unrealistic, right? Just like buyers had to come to terms with the fact that like rates aren't going back down that low. Buyers have to realize we're not getting 7, 10 offers on your property. Now, good houses,
I was
are
gonna
still
say,
selling.
I'm still seeing it some.
Well,
it's not as much,
I
right?
100%
But there
agree,
are pockets that
but there are pockets
still going wild.
But I think like to that point, and that's the point that I was going to make, is price, prepping, and presentation. If you're checking those boxes, price, prep, presentation, you're still in that. You're still getting those results, right?
Yep.
And it all comes down to the agent you hire. Absolutely matters for those. So I should probably add representation. So price. Preparation, price preparation, and presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think, again, we're getting to a better spot. Rates coming down. The rates don't even have to be super low for the public to generally feel better about it, right? And then be open to, okay, maybe it makes sense. So it's that public sentiment, and we're starting to get to that point where people are feeling better about things. And I mean, once we get below 6 and approach that 5 number, I mean, that's a game changer.
And to that point, I think a lot of people are more interested in hearing from a local expert like you or me, rather than listening to headlines on TV.
Yeah, because our market doesn't always follow
100%.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm seeing a lot too. Is like a lot of conversations are, hey, heard this on the news, right? But like, what are you seeing?
Yeah.
And so I think like being that local knowledgeable professional for folks and like staying tapped in to local markets really is important right now, because I don't think consumer is listening to the big headlines anymore.
Well, and again, it goes back to there's just so much BS out there, right? There are still people saying the market is going to crash. Like, why? How? What factors and forces are going to drive it to crash?
It's a bubble.
I'm not seeing that, right? Like, as long as inventory does not, is not significantly above the demand, there's not going to be a crash.
In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Inventory has risen, right? Like over the last year, and that's a good thing. We've needed that.
But good inventory is the problem.
Right. There's a lot of inventory on the market that isn't the good inventory that people want. And so it's just sitting. And as soon as rates keep, again, trickling down, all that demand comes rushing back. And there is still not enough inventory on the market, to sustain all that.
I agree.
There's just not.
And what's there is overpriced or badly represented.
Typically.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, absolutely. So what's your play? So let me ask you this. Speaking on that, what is your brand? What is your social strategy for this year?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think you and I are kind of aligned in this respect. We're doing a lot of similar things. I mean, hell, we even kind of dress alike here. I'll just go ahead and throw that out.
So let's talk about that. I remember there was one year we showed up to Derby, like didn't talk about it. Both had blue suits on, both had pink flowers on. And then we did it again this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Hilarious. So yeah, and we're going to talk more about this either today or on another episode, but kind of where our lives are, where our business is, and that's going to feed into kind of strategy moving forward. But it really just goes back to providing valuable, insights to my clients. My business is to a point where, everybody's seen changes. You've seen changes over the last few years, and some good, some bad, but everybody's business has evolved and is changing, and so are your lives, right? Like I've got one in high school, another kid getting ready to go to high school. I'm really planning the next 5 to 10 years now, because before long we're going to be empty nesters. So again, I'm not going to get into all that now, but that kind of drives some of my strategy moving forward. It's like now is a time to reconnect with my sphere, right, with my business, and what's the right way to do that. And again, I think it's trying to be that knowledge broker, right, that can provide valuable insight to help them. And social media is a big part of that. It's not just about saying how many houses you've sold, or how, hey, highlighting this closing or this new listing. It's
100%.
It's about giving knowledge. And I think, again, the authenticity, there's a lot of non-authentic, not good content out there. And I think it's about that. It's about, being that knowledge broker for your clients. They see you trying to provide them value. So then when they go to transact, they think about you.
Yeah, no, 100%. What is the saying is like, people buy people. People buy into people.
Yep.
And
we're in a unique position because of, the success we've had, our office culture, that we've always worked collaboratively. You and I for sure, because you used to be on my team, but even now you have your own team, and we're always strategizing. We're always problem solving.
Absolutely.
And our office has been like that. So
iron sharpens iron.
Yeah. So with that, you're exposed to a lot more situations even than you've just, had in your own business, and deal problem solving and all of that.
It all
And
trickles down to our clients.
correct. It's
and it
all
allows
about,
them to
hey, we've
represent
got
them.
knowledge. Let's try to help people.
Yep, absolutely. That's what I was gonna say. Authenticity versus like scripted. How am I trying to say it? Being more authentic versus like perfect.
Yeah.
Right. Like just what we're doing now.
Yep.
I think that's a big branding strategy that I'm going for this year. You know, I do the Around My Hometown shoots and the Toddler tours, and if you've ever
Which are awesome, by the
if
way.
you ever seen the Toddler tours,
Dude, Elliot crushes it.
those are not scripted. I mean, that is as raw as you can get.
He is the man. I love that.
Yeah,
dude.
he kills it. We're shooting. Our goal this year is one a month, and so he's
I think
really,
you need to pump those numbers. Those are rookie numbers.
oh man, and I mean that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a
Yeah.
lot of prep planning, especially when a 4-year-old is the star of your show, you know.
Yeah.
And he doesn't cooperate very well. I mean, but it's cool because I've taught him to negotiate, right? So
Yeah.
it's like he shoots these for me, but he gets to ask for things in return. So it's pretty cool. But
Dude,
yeah,
they're so good.
just more authentic content is what I'm going for this year. And then, you know, like I think consistency beats, really consistent, authentic content is what I'm going for this
Yep.
year.
Yep. Yep. And again, you know, social media is a good way to get that content out because people are on social media, right?
Yeah.
And so, and they're watching. I mean, I think they're paying attention. You know, we've talked about using this as, you know, as much of a short form avenue as long form, right? Like, I don't know that the goal is to produce a bunch of long form content. It's to get things out that'll really help our clients quickly.
I agree. Yep. Give them, well, like to your point, educate,
Yeah.
not just flex.
Yeah.
Not just be like, I've got $2.5 million pending.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that's cool. And that proves that like, I probably know what I'm doing, but like just to really educate and give them good advice, whether they transact with us or not. I mean, obviously we hope so, but like just to provide value to
Yep.
people and to be like a local expert
Yep.
for people, like let people know, like for me, I'd say 70% of my business is Spencer County, right? That's where I grew up. So, you know, I love shooting around my hometown with local business owners, but be that local knowledge person for people who are looking to buy and sell real estate. Because at the end of the day, man, we have a very intimate part of people's lives in our hand. I mean,
Yeah.
a very important piece of people's lives in our hand, and they trust us with it. And to like, I mean, that's what fires me up to stay educated, to, you know, like we meet, our whole company, our whole firm meets every Friday to just problem solve and jam. And I mean, that's cool. I don't
Yep.
think there's a lot of folks out there doing that.
No. You know, we have a very productive office. I think that's one of the reasons.
We kill it, bro. That's lightly said.
You know, and my business is obviously a little bit different than yours. You know, you're primarily, you know, a good chunk of your business is Spencer County. I'm kind of all over, right?
Yeah.
Like I grew up in Fairdale, Brooks area. My parents still live there, so I sell that side of town. I live in Middletown now. I sell that side of town, everything in between. I sell Oldham County through Shelby, through Spencer, out to Mount Washington. I go to Bardstown. I go to E-Town, Shepherdsville, and everything in between. So, and you do too. But my business, I feel, is more spread. I'm here and there, and you kind of have a focus.
I do, yeah. And it wasn't intentional. I
Yeah.
didn't plan on it being that way.
Yeah.
And I do, yeah. I sell all around. I mean, I've Crestwood, J-Town, all over. But when I look at my numbers at the end of the year, it's primarily a lot in Spencer County. Yeah. So you mean like juggling family and business?
Yeah. Yeah, just where you are with both of it, and
That is, man.
I mean, I know it's a long conversation, but
No, it's just that's always a challenge, right? Like I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, and juggling family and business it's both are obviously my family is very important to me. It's the reason my business exists, because of my family, and it's not the other way around.
Yep.
My family comes first, but I mean, I care about them both very much. Like I take them very, very seriously, my family and my business. And, you know, it's seasons, man. Like there are some seasons family's winning and there are some seasons business was winning. And I mean, it's
a hard thing to juggle.
a very hard thing to juggle. What I've got really, or well, sometimes I feel like I've gotten better at, is when I'm present with my kids, I'm present with my kids. Like, and if that's for an hour a day, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is, you know, if I'm working from home and I need to take a break, my phone stays in the office and I go hang out with my kids and we play. And for that 30 minutes, that 45-minute break, that's where my focus is, on nothing else. When my focus is on business, is business, and there's nothing else. And so that's kind of how I break it up. Like when I'm in the zone and I'm working on deals, or I'm negotiating, or I'm like, you know, piecing things together for the business, like that's what I'm focused on. Doors shut, dad's working, and they know that. And then when I'm focused on my kids, I'm focused on my kids. The phone can ring, that can wait, and I'll get to it when I get to it. But it's a juggle.
Yeah. You're kind of on the front end of it still. My business is in a different spot because of the age of our kids, right? Like I remember those days and obviously miss them, right? Like, I mean, and it's tough. Like, you know, I've told you this before, you know, you have to be present. You have to, you know, take advantage of those little moments, because you're going to look back one day when your kids are in high school, like mine are both soon to be, and then and Facebook loves to remind you. I mean,
or the iPhone stories.
Yes,
or the iPhone
like
videos.
of what, you know, what they used to be. And don't get me wrong, like they're great now, and we're like, I mean, I have like a really close relationship with both my boys. We're really good friends. It's, you know, but you know, you miss them being little. So like you're in that moment, like just as best you can. Take advantage of those little moments and cherish them, because it's fleeting. It goes quick, and dude, you're going to blink and you're going to have two in high school.
Bro, I already know, like, it's weird to be in a moment of life or a season of life, and you just know one day you're going to miss this. And it's like, I'm living it right now.
For sure.
And I know it's going to pass. So yeah, it's a dagger.
But on the back end of it, you know, kind of where I'm headed is, you know, I've been ripping and running for 10 years, right? Like coaching my kids' teams and taking them to school and taking them to practice and trying to run a successful real estate business. And talk about juggling, like that's tough. I mean, I feel like your day is just like insane every single day. And don't get me wrong, that's great. I mean, I love what I do. I love being there for my kids, but it has been just a crazy time for the last decade. And all of a sudden now I've got a sophomore in high school that's driving, right? He's taking himself to school and to practice and the lifts. I have an 8th grader that I'm still taking to school and to practice and coaching his basketball team right now. But I mean, I see the writing on the wall, right? He's going to be riding to school with his brother next year, and he's going to be getting a permit next year. And right, like everything's changing. I mean, before long, we're going to be empty nesters, and it's going to be like, what do we do? Like, where did all that time go, and what do we do?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So
it's a blessing though to be able to watch them grow up.
Oh, 100%.
It is. It's a gift to be able to.
But a big piece of it is, okay, well, what am I going to do with my time though, right? I mean, sure, I'm going to play more golf.
I was going to say.
For sure. But
I know.
But also now I have more time, and it's starting now because of how Isaac's schedule's changed, that, I mean, a real focused effort back on my business and helping clients, I think is part of where I'm headed, right? Because I'm going to have more time to do that, where it's so hectic. The schedule, I mean, that's the best word. The schedule has been hectic for a decade.
In a decade, you've been selling real estate for how long?
Since 2004, so going on 22 years.
There's got to be some stories in there. There's got to be some stories in there.
There's some stories.
What is the craziest real estate story?
That's easy. Well, I mean, that's not easy. Have had a lot. Probably one of the craziest just situations, I'll say. Because there's been a lot like that we've heard about, or like people in our office that have been robbed at gunpoint, or like crazy things like that. But me personally, the craziest like listing experience would be a property that Jay listed back. I mean, I don't even remember the year. It was shortly after I joined his team. So probably like 2010, 11-ish, 1435 South 4th Street. It was actually featured on First 48, season 4, episode 14, What Lies Beneath. So I'm not going to give away the whole story, because it actually is, you should watch it. Like, it's interesting. But 1435 South 4th, beautiful old Victorian house. downtown Old Louisville. A couple of guys bought it. They lived there. It seemed like they had started to fix it up, but it was a lot of like project. Well, when we got it, and I mean, it had been vacant for a while, but a lot of projects that weren't done. Long story short, I think they were in a throuple with their drug dealer. And so there was a domestic dispute. Cops got called. One of the guys got arrested and then ratted his boyfriend out, saying that he killed a guy and he was buried in the basement. So
Was that true?
100%. So when we took over the listing, that was one of the things is we weren't allowed to do anything in the basement. So we could go down there, we could look at it, we could show it, but there was literally caution tape around holes dug in the basement, the exact size of those big Tupperware things where they buried the body.
Wow.
Yeah. So talk about creepy, right? And so I'm the guy that ended up showing this thing like 60 times before it showed, often at night or at dusk. And there was no lights on in the property because it was a bank foreclosure. Jay did a lot of bank foreclosures. And so we're walking through there with flashlights, and I had to, number one, we had to disclose what was going on there because we weren't going to sell it without, I mean, Jay was adamant to the bank that, hey, I know it's a stigmatized property and we're not required to disclose it, but we are disclosing this, like what happened.
Yeah.
And so part of that disclosure was actually walking down to the basement, showing them the holes. So like, that was freaky. Like, for sure.
I could see, I recently encountered some buyers who asked me if somebody had been murdered in this house. And I was thinking like, please let the answer be no.
Yeah.
But it turned out they were hoping that like,
they were like,
they wouldn't, I'll put it like this. They wouldn't have not bought it if somebody had been.
Yeah.
They, it was close to a cemetery, which they liked.
Yep.
So, I was thinking it could be a thing for somebody. Somebody could be like, that could be the thing that they, I mean, that's a hard story to follow. I mean, I've had some crazy ones. I've been doing it not near as long as you have. I've had some crazy stories. Like a couple come to mind. Again, that one's hard to follow, but like I was in a house one time as a for sale by owner and get down to the basement, and she had let her 4 dogs just like go to the bathroom in the basement and like used a shovel and like put it in the corner. There's like huge piles of poop, like just in the corner of this room. And my clients, we like all looked at each other and we were like,
the guy called the shit poop.
whoa, dude, we are out of here. So we immediately got out of here. And I think the most recent one was one of my agents on my team. We closed the deal, and I guess we didn't realize that the sellers had kicked some indoor cats outside.
Some. How many is some?
I think it started at 12. And so
that's not a problem at all.
No, well, it wouldn't have been until they made their way into my client's car. So they got into our client's car and they chewed the electrical wires into. They scratched the paint. It ended up being like $8,000 worth of damage. So that was an interesting one.
So let's talk about that, because there's I think more of a story there. When did you find out about that? How did you approach it from the real estate side, and what was the ultimate, like what happened?
Luckily, unluckily, so the clients had gotten an early possession, a 2-day early possession. So we actually found out the day of closing. So they had moved in the night before. This happened the night before
Now,
they
did you
came
all
to the closing
negotiate
table.
the early possession?
No, we didn't. So
Okay.
it was a situation where buyer and seller kind of knew each other, and they negotiated that outside of closing. So we didn't even know
Holy cow.
that our clients had, which
is never
by
good,
the way, don't recommend doing that.
Do not do that.
Let us handle all of that for you. And this is just one of the many reasons why.
Yeah.
So they negotiated that. That happened the day before closing. So the next day at closing, we're signing paperwork. It gets brought up.
So the client at closing is like, hey, I want to tell you about this. There's 13 cats outside and they just destroyed my car.
Absolutely.
Like
so,
literally at closing.
So I'm in the office working. My agent comes in and she's like, hey, I got to tell you something crazy. she told me what happened, and I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, this is a first for me. And so, I mean, ultimately, we did what we do.
Yeah.
We negotiated.
Yeah.
We negotiated. We held back some. We held back. We had a little bit of leverage because it was the day of closing. We held back. It wasn't a complete. It wasn't a complete repair, right? We didn't get all the 8,000. I think we got half.
Okay.
So we ended up just doing what we do. We negotiated, held back the money in escrow until the repairs were completed.
That's crazy. I mean, not only the story, but also that you found out at closing, hey, we were in this property really before we were supposed to be. And also the seller's 13 cats destroyed our car.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's insane.
Definitely one for the books.
Yeah. But also a way to just,
At least nobody died.
right. Well, that happened before we listed the property. So, but I mean, a way to strap up your boots and go to work and do the best you could because your client wasn't in a good situation either. I mean, they did have leverage. They could have said, hey, obviously we're not closing until we get this worked out. But, they moved in early and, depending on, I'm assuming they probably didn't have a formal agreement. So
I'm not really sure. I think it was a text message, Venmo kind of.
So, you did a good job using the leverage you had to get the best you could for your client.
Yep,
So
I agree.
good job. All right. Well, man, this was awesome. This was fun.
This was good.
Is this going to be the first of many?
This would be the first of many. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this went really well.
All right.
So
Me too.
episode 1's a wrap.
Excited to
See
do
everybody.
episode 2.
Yeah. See everybody on episode 2.
See y'all.